This is how the FBI hacked the Trump phone.
The FBI claims they've hacked the failed Trump assassin's phone, but how? Also in your hacking news roundup, ATT suffers a historic breach and Apple bans VPN apps in Russia. But first, the feds have put out a statement. FBI technical specialists successfully gained access to Thomas Matthew Crooks's phone. But how? The hacking methods at the FBI's disposal totally depend on which model of phone the assassin had, and thanks to pictures leaked to the press, we have some clues. The photo is really low res, but if we do some enhancing, it's clearly some kind of Android. Looks like we have 3 cameras on the back, a flash, and the brand name at the bottom. My money's on some kind of Samsung, and I could be totally wrong, but perhaps the A25? Let's assume the phone was locked with fingerprint recognition. Could the feds, after they finally got up onto that roof, just have touched his finger to the reader in order to unlock it? There are reported cases of law enforcement exploiting a corpse finger to unlock a phone, but this is only possible soon after a person dies, because fingerprint scanners rely on the electric charge running through your body, and once that's gone...
Yeah, but chat, couldn't they overlap your fingerprint or whatever? Chat, there's gotta be a way.
You can't do that anymore.
To bypass this, with technology, there has to be. No way that you can't put that, remove the top film of the finger, recreate it, or even put it on somebody else's finger or some device or and put it on. There's no shot.
You're just out of luck. As for facial recognition, the guy's face looked a little rearranged from the photos.
Someone electrified the corpse.
Floating around on X, so I'm not sure that was much of an option. In fact, we know the FBI's methods were a little more technical, because according to The Verge, field agents in Pennsylvania had tried and failed to break into his phone, so the device was sent to the FBI lab in Quantico, Virginia.
Wait, hold on, what? That sounds like a disaster, chat. Why? If there's somebody that's more qualified, why wouldn't they start with the people that more qualified? Imagine if they brick the data. Imagine if they try too many times, or isn't that kind of scary?
Break into his phone, so the device was sent to the FBI lab in Quantico, Virginia. There, it's been leaked to the media that the phone was unlocked with tech from Celebrite. Celebrite is an Israeli forensics company which makes these things, a hardware and software package which, simply put, can break into and unlock many modern phones. This all relies on vulnerabilities in iPhones and Android devices, which Celebrite keeps secret. Even the capabilities of these tools is totally unknown, or, well, at least it was until a couple of days ago when Celebrite's list of supported devices was leaked. So how this works is that the data that can be extracted from an Android...
Oh, chat. They buy day zeros and then they let you use it, whatever, without like, is that what they do? 0 days?
Phone depends on whether it's hot or cold. A cold device is a device that's just been rebooted. User data is totally inaccessible until you enter your passcode, at which point a decryption key is loaded into memory and the phone becomes hot. The phone is still considered hot even if it's locked again, because that key is still stored in memory. In this state, it's easy to extract data. This column shows that for the latest Samsung phones, the feds can exfiltrate everything. This applies to pretty much all the newest Android phones, though there are some devices which, for whatever reason, this isn't possible. However, it's a slightly different story if the phone is in a cold state, as in it's only just been rebooted. In this state, the phone has to be brute forced, but this is possible for pretty much most of the newest Android phones, including the phone of the assassin. We don't know how the brute forcing works on...
Wait, I'm confused. Wait, whenever it's opening, it's vulnerable to brute forcing, whatever, so you can kind of like not get bricked out of it?
Android phones only has to be brute forced, but this is possible for pretty much most of the newest Android phones, including the phone of the assassin. We don't know how the brute forcing works on a technical level. Celebrite is known for their secrecy, and even tells the feds in training material to keep their methods hush hush. So what did hacking the assassin's phone reveal? Well, according to media reports, which don't cite their sources, but I mean that's all we have to go on, not much, apparently. But what I can...
Chat, isn't it kind of a disaster? Let's say all this was secret or whatever, and they had done all that, and then they were subpoenaed by the fucking, the thing, the hearing result, they're like, okay, tell us what the method, and you're subpoenaed. Tell us the method you use to get this, and I mean, can answer. Then what? They have to fuck themselves for the sake of the public knowing it.
Reveal. It's the next sponsor, Proton Mail. What I love about Proton is that it's not just a privacy-focused mail service. It's a privacy-focused ecosystem, which makes de-Googlifying your life easy. On the privacy end, Proton is protected by strict Swiss privacy laws, which means there's certainly no warrantless mass surveillance. What really stands out is Proton Mail's privacy sec. Go check them out using the link in the video description. AT&T has just suffered a truly historic breach. A hacker has stolen a database of the call and SMS records of nearly all of AT&T's customers. This even includes smaller MVNO carriers which use AT&T's network. In total, this affects more than 100 million people. The records in the database span from May 2022 to October 22, so if you were an AT&T customer during that time, or if you so much as sent a text message to someone who was, then chances are you're in here. In the company's own words, these records identify other phone numbers that an AT&T wireless number interacted with during this time, and for a subset of the records, one or more cell site ID numbers associated with the interactions are also included. These cell site IDs correspond to specific base stations, which could actually be used to unmask your real location. To be clear, the database contains AT&T customer phone numbers and a list of other phone numbers they either called or texted, and just how many times.
Chad, did they keep the private chat, or is that leaked? Well, I didn't use AT&T. I use T-Mobile.
The actual content.
Actually, what I use it's kind of unique. I'm not sure what it is, but it's
phone calls and text messages aren't included. There's also no timestamps attached or personal information like your name.
Something you probably don't even know about.
But that doesn't mean there aren't major privacy implications here. The real danger comes when this data set is combined with other breaches. I refer you to the Facebook data dump of 2021, which leaks the phone numbers of 500 million people along with a bunch of their personal data. Using breaches like this, cyber bad guys can uncover exactly who each person in the AT&T database is and figure out exactly who they're talking to, and then exploit that information in all kinds of nefarious ways, like in personalized phishing scams. But how could a breach of this scale even happen? Surely a database of such proportions would have the highest level of security and authentication, right?
What?
Wrong. The database was protected by a single username and password, no multi-factor authentication in sight. In fact, this breach is part of the recent string of breaches affecting Snowflake customers. Snowflake is a cloud storage platform hosting the data of many large companies, but when cybercriminals realized that many of these high-profile accounts were protected by nothing more than a simple username and password combo that in some cases hadn't been changed for years, they went to town, using InfoStealer malware to scoop up credentials before just logging in and exfiltrating.
InfoStealer malware, of course, Wait.
Data. The playbook really was that simple. In the case of AT&T, the hacker is allegedly a member of infamous group Shiny Hunters. They demanded a $1 million ransom from AT&T, but reportedly settled for just $370,000. Why?
Just $370,000?
Really? Wait, a mega corporate in the current year paying a ransom to for only this much? Yo, Chad, this is worth billions of dollars.
It is reporting that in return, the hacker provided AT&T a video proving that they deleted the data. How a video of someone just right-clicking and hitting delete proves anything is beyond me. But anyway, this breach originally happened in April this year, but the Department of Justice...
Guys, I hate to say things that are kind of, maybe like, I don't want to give them any ideas. I'm not sure they thought about it before. If they had this many records on their customers, right, they could probably triangulate and do cross search on their data to find some like celebrity and be like, yo, dude, I got your whole thing, you cheat on your wife or whatever, your whole thing, right? And give me money of those, I leak it. And they could probably get like multi-millions for just one person. 270,000 for 100 million users.
But reportedly settled for just $370,000.
Sounds like
Wired is reporting that in return, the hacker provided AT&T a video proving that they deleted the data. How a video of someone just right-clicking and hitting delete proves anything is beyond me. But anyway, this breach originally happened in April this year, but the Department of Justice gave AT&T a couple extensions in terms of their reporting requirements, which is why we're only just hearing about it now. AT&T mentioned in their SEC filing that someone has already been arrested for...
If you can log in, into the account, you can check the texts and you can check the activity 100%. You can check the text messages 100% if you can log in.
There's not much concrete information around this, but one John Binns was recently arrested in Turkey in connection with a T-Mobile breach from 2021. This same guy is apparently behind this latest AT&T breach. But FYI, this is all according to anonymous sources, so take it with a pinch of salt. Apple has removed dozens of VPN apps.
To log into the account, they just logged into data storage for logs. Okay.
From the Russian App Store at the request of the Russian government. This affects 25 apps, including popular VPNs like NordVPN, Proton, and PRN.
Wait, so no VPN for Apple?
Hey.
Wait.
Affects dozens of users, so take it with a pinch of salt. Apple has removed dozens of VPN apps from the Russian App Store at the request of the Russian government. This affects 25 apps, including popular VPNs like
Yes, no more VPN para Russians.
Proton, and PIA. Almost overnight, those users were met with errors that their favorite VPN app is no longer available in their country or region, which is especially annoying since Russia is one of those countries where VPN is actually kind of useful. App developers received emails from Apple explaining that their app was being deleted on the orders of the Roskomnadzor, the Russian government.
Chat, isn't that dumb? Like, VPNs are really fine to have for normal reasons. It's not only VPNs are just useful. Like,
Agency in charge of regulating telecommunications. However,
Yeah, they don't see it that way.
doesn't like VPNs isn't really news. In 2017, Russia passed a bill which effectively banned proxies, Tor, and VPNs.
I mean,
However,
Tor,
they haven't done a very good job of actually implementing that law. Over the past few years, Russia has been relying on technological methods like deep packet inspection, which detects and blocks VPN traffic in real time. But that hasn't worked out very well because, unlike a country like China, which implements restrictions centrally on a countrywide level, Russia just doesn't have that level of infrastructure, so they rely on each individual ISP to do the dirty work for them, which doesn't work quite as well because different ISPs implement blocks differently, leading to really inconsistent enforcement, which might...
Chat, yes, if people cared about VPNs, they could easily get it done. Chat, I feel like even in the current day, most VPNs websites know that it's a VPN. Most connection ports, whatever, there's just not that many.
Enforcement,
unless you use some crazy shit.
Why Russia has said screw it and just turned to Apple to ban VPN apps en masse. VPN developers, as you can imagine, are not very happy, with some blaming Apple for this. Redshield VPN says Apple's actions, motivated by a desire to retain revenue from the Russian market, actively support an authoritarian regime. The fact that a corporation with a capitalization larger than Russia's GDP helps support authoritarianism says a lot about the moral principles of that corporation.
Apple's action motivated by a desire to retain revenue from the Russian market. I mean, what else are they gonna do? Otherwise, aren't they gonna remove all their shit off the fucking thing?
But does Apple realistically have a choice here? I mean, companies simply have to obey the laws of the countries they operate in, whether that's in the US, Europe, or Russia. Well, maybe they do have a choice. Russia recently ordered Mozilla to ban certain Firefox add-ons.
I just like it's a chain of command. It'll keep going down regardless, and it doesn't matter who does it. It'll have the same thing, right? So if they do it and they keep the rest of the stuff on the Russian market and whatever, it's free money.
They didn't like, and after initially complying with the ban, Mozilla went back on that and lifted the ban just a few days later. And for now, at least, the Roskomnadzor hasn't done anything about it. Also, it should be mentioned that Apple is about to allow sideloading of apps in the EU. If Apple really cares about censorship, maybe they could voluntarily extend that coverage to Russia. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.
Well, I guess that would ending the video time.